Now, after the Baltimore Ravens took care of business against the Cleveland Browns on Saturday night, it was just a matter of time finding out who the Baltimore Ravens were going to play and when they were going to be playing them. But we got all that and a lot more to talk about when it comes to these playoffs, so we can get into it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on. Let's keep this thing pushing, and also leave a like on the video, because we not only like, but we love what these Baltimore Ravens are getting ready to do. So let's get straight into it. So, of course, Saturday night, the Baltimore Ravens, they locked up the number 3 seed. They locked up the AFC North, and we were just waiting to see who our opponent was going to be. So after all the games they played themselves out, we found out that the Baltimore Ravens were going to be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers for not the first, not the second, but the third time this season. So I know that got a lot of Ravens fans stressed out, and it should have a lot of Ravens fans stressed out, not only because it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's an AFC North rival, it's an AFC North opponent, but it's somebody who's very familiar with you. But on top of that, it's playoffs. So no matter who the opponent was going to be, I think you should definitely be nervous, because it ain't like it's regular season to where it's like, oh, we messed up this week. Oh, man, we'll come back and get them next week. No. It's win or go home. So any adjustments, any fixes, any errors that you make, that got to get corrected ASAP right here, right now, because it ain't no, coming back next week and we'll get them next time. No. There is no next time until next year if a team were to lose this game. So the Baltimore Ravens, do everything that you need to do to get this thing done. Don't fall for the mind games. I mean, Steelers, I don't even know if Mike Tomlin going to try to play mind games, because they got enough issues of their own going on right now. And with the Steelers, they've been on a downward slope. They've been looking all kinds of bad. Their offense just ain't been performing. But again, this is a brand new season because it's playoffs. So every team that's in the playoffs, they got hope. But what the Baltimore Ravens need to do, get out early and don't look back. Don't look back, don't hold back. And they know that. They know all of this stuff that we're saying right now. And I'm sure they're going to take care of business, because, I mean, we've been saying all year the Baltimore Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl this year. So the Steelers being in the way, that's just another stepping stone that the Baltimore Ravens are going to have to get over. Now, one thing that makes this game a lot harder is the possibility, nothing official yet. We should know something today, but nothing official yet is on Zay Flowers. What we've been hearing, I'm sure what a lot of y'all been hearing, is that it ain't really looking good for him in this game against the Steelers. Is more than likely that he won't play in this game against the Steelers. But again, we're still waiting on official word from the Baltimore Ravens. So what does that mean? Other guys just got to step up. Other guys just got to fill in for Zay Flowers. And there is not another Zay Flowers on the Baltimore Ravens, but it's just going to make everybody else's job that much more important, that much more crucial. Rashad Bateman, we need you more now than ever. I mean, we've needed you throughout this entire season. And I remember a game a couple of weeks ago when it was said that Rashad Bateman was looking a little shaky for the game. And I was telling one of my guys, I'm like, man, imagine that. Who would have thought, especially if you go years back, even last year, who would have thought that us as Ravens fans, we would be stressing out if Rashad Bateman was possibly not going to be playing in a game? Who would have ever thought that? But we've come such a long way. Rashad Bateman has come such a long way, and we love it for him. We love it for the Baltimore Ravens. We love it for the team. But Rashad Bateman is going to be relied on a lot more in this game. But we talked about previously who the Baltimore Ravens, who's going to need to step up for them, especially at pass catching. We talked about Nelson Agholor. He'll have a bigger role. Tylan Wallace, Tez Walker. Probably they'll call up Anthony Miller. We'll see. But I really do think the tight ends, specifically the other Zay, Isaiah Likely, because obviously Mark Andrews, he's going to have his role, but I think Isaiah Likely, the way that they use him and utilize him and move him around, I think that they will really rely on him a lot more for these playoffs. So Ravens, again, it's playoffs time, so the stats are cool, but the stats are pretty much out the window. They ain't got to be pretty. If y'all want to make them pretty, cool, but bottom line, just win by any means necessary. Get it done. Speaking of playoffs, so you can rep our Baltimore Ravens hard in the playoffs, make sure you get your playoff hoodie from Heart of the City. The link is in the description, and when you use code Ingraven30, you get 30% off your entire order. So if you want to order one hoodie, you want to order 4 hoodies, 1 hoodie for every playoff game that we win this season, go get them all and use code Ingraven30. So now we reach my favorite part of these videos where we get to feature your questions. If you would like to take part in it, you can send an email to teamkeepitclean@gmail.com. For the patrons, you can send a DM directly on Patreon. And if you would like to join them, you can go to patreon.com/Ingravenvids. Or if you would like to send it in a unique way, you can send it directly to our P.O. Box. The address is down below in the description, as are so many other ways if you want to support the channel. Let's get straight into it because we ain't got that much time. First question came from my guy, Andrew. He said, "Hey, Ingraven, what's up, Drew?" He said, "Been a minute, but I hope you and the family are keeping well." Hey, we doing good. I appreciate you. He said, "So I was watching the Bobby Baltimore show when when he was doing an interview with former Super Bowl winning Ravens cornerback Jimmy Smith. Jimmy gave an insight on Harb's appreciation of the secondary, but he also mentioned that Harb prefers his safeties to be thumpers and not the traditional free safety and strong safety. From what I have seen, both Kyle and AD have been used interchangeably on the back end, but also coming downhill. That's true, and that does make sense. But anyway, he said, but back on the topic, Jimmy mentioned that one thing he noticed about Marcus Williams was that his game was more based on interceptions rather than willingness to come downhill and make tackles. That's true. Marcus Williams, not a very physical safety. And again, every safety is different, which is fine. But he was more a ball hawk safety. And I still think it was a really good signing when Ravens signed him a couple years ago. He started off amazing, but then he got hurt. Then the second year, he started off great, then he got hurt. Then this year, he ain't started good, but he got healthy. He was healthy, and he didn't get hurt. But then, y'all know the rest of the story. Anyway, he said, this made me think. Firstly, do we think Marcus Williams is done in a Ravens uniform? He's been done. Since they benched him, and then not only since they benched him, but since they had him on the inactive list, he has been done. So, yeah, that story is over for the Baltimore Ravens and Marcus Williams. He ain't going to play for them again. He said, will Ardarius Washington claim the other starting safety position, or do you think the Ravens are likely to draft a new one? Has he not claimed it already? Like, Ardarius Washington been holding it down. I saw somebody else ask this a couple days ago, too, and I was confused. Like, has Ardarius Washington not shown enough as a safety? I think he more than has, so he definitely has. He said, anyway, just like Marcus Williams starting at safety, I'm out. He said, just kidding. You ain't just kidding, because that's the truth. He said, but much love from London. Hey, appreciate you, my friend. Next question came from my guy Brian, who's a Team Keep It Clean patron. He said, what's up, Aang? What's up, Brian? He said, is it just me or is Trenton Simpson not playing at all anymore? And he said, Kings of the North, baby. He's not. He's been benched. Harbaugh said it a couple of weeks ago. Basically said that he ain't ready yet. And it's been working. So I ain't mad at it at all. And the Ravens have been making some tough decisions like we talked about months ago. Like they've been making some tough decisions with some different players. And they've been getting the job done. So Trenton Simpson, he'll have time to grow. He'll have opportunities to grow. But right now, it's just time to sort of take the back seat and learn from the vets in front of him. Next question came from AM Gang. He said, what's up, Ingraven? What's up, AM Gang? Appreciate you being a patron, my friend. He said, how you doing, man? I hope you and the family is doing wonderful. My question is, when we win the Super Bowl and when the draft comes, I hope the Ravens draft this cornerback, Will Johnson from Michigan. He is literally a Kyle Hamilton 2.0. Imagine two Kyle Hamiltons on the same team, and Will Johnson is a ball hawk as well. 6'2", 200 pounds, solid. Oh, if he's like that, because we're going to be looking for a cornerback because we're not going to have Brandon Stevens anymore. Tre'Davious White, we'll see. I think they could sign him to like one of those future deals. It's going to be something super cheap. And Jalen Armour-Davis, he probably won't be with the Ravens anymore after this year. So it's going to be Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, TJ Tampa. So yeah, we could use some more corners. Next question came from N.Nasty 99. He said, what's good, Ingraven? My username might sound familiar. Oh yeah, I remember you for sure. You've been around for, I remember you for sure. I appreciate you. He said, anyway, I'm so happy to see you grow. I can guarantee you that I was a follower of you since you were still in the hundreds of subscribers and not reached a 1K mark, and seeing you growing makes me happy. I really mean it. I appreciate you for real, man. I do remember you. I remember your name. I remember you from a long time ago. So I appreciate you sticking around. So thank you for that, man. He said, I got 3 questions. Number 1, do you still get in touch with Joe Nubo? Honestly, like this channel a lot, and I remember you doing a collaboration with him. Oh yeah, that was my guy, man. We follow each other on Instagram. I know he stepped away from the YouTube world. There was a moment where it was looking like he was going to come back, but I guess he decided not to. But he's still doing his thing. He's still living a good life and whatnot, so he's good. So I appreciate you checking on him. He said, number 2, the Super Bowl will be in New Orleans. Remember, we had Jacoby, and it makes sense. He will be cheering for us. I also have a huge feeling that finally, not being a number 1 seed will definitely take a lot of pressure off of LJ. It does, but it doesn't, because it's playoffs. It's pressure. Pressure is the playoffs. Like, you have to win. That's it. So there's pressure, like, regardless, man. So, yeah, it's pressure on everybody. And he said, my last question, brother, I think no one has given Brent Urban his flowers. He is extra solid and a soldier out there putting in the nasty work. Love you since 99, baby. Hey, appreciate you, my friend. And, yeah, Brent Urban, he's one of those unsung heroes of the Baltimore Ravens. When he does get in the game, he be doing his thing. He does a lot of the grimy stuff and doesn't get a lot of attention for it, but he does still be making some plays here and there, so shout out to Brent Urban. Next question came from another Team Keep It Clean patron, my guy Isai. He said, hey, Ingraven, I hope you and the family are doing good. Hey, I appreciate it. He said, I wanted to start off by saying, who has it better than us? Nobody. Well, I think the Chiefs probably do right now because they got the bye week for this first week. But anyway, he said, now my question is, since the Saints are out of the playoffs, do you think the Ravens should go after Michael Thomas after the Zay injury or stick to in-house help? Well, Michael Thomas, is he in football? He literally hasn't played all year long, and he was not on the Saints. He's a free agent, so the Saints, like, it don't even matter what happened with them. But he's a free agent, so I don't feel like he could come in just from jump, or could he Kyle Vanoy this thing and come in from jump and make a big impact? Hey, who knows? But I don't think it's gonna be him. I think if they do go after somebody, it will be somebody that's been playing this year. He said, not saying we need major help, but just as a depth player, our wide receiver room did pretty good after Zay went down. Or should they look at offensive line free agent market? No, offensive line is set. They're not gonna bring in an offensive lineman like for the playoffs and be like, all right, go ahead and play and go ahead and stuff. No. The offensive line is set. They can make some changes like they did. You saw Voorhees out there. Okay, we'll see. But offensive line, they said as well. He said, sorry for the long question. And just like George Pickens' hands last night against the Bengals, I'm out and go Ravens. Next question came from my guy Marcelo. He said, hey, Ingravenvids, hope you're having a great day and a stress-free Sunday. Quick question. If Zay Flowers does not play for the wild card game, is it the perfect time, in your opinion, to sign Odell to replace? Not to replace. If they want to sign him as a depth guy, somebody with some good hands, not the fastest, not the most agile, but reliable hands, you could sign an Odell Beckham Jr. He knows the offense, so if he does need to get in the game for any reason, then he would be ready. Is he in the best shape in the world? How's his health? I don't know. He ain't really looked too good for the Dolphins. He ain't really get too much opportunities for the Dolphins, but him with the Dolphins, it was a wash. It was a terrible experiment that just failed miserably. But anyway, he said, because I'm not confident in Tylan Wallace or Nelly or Tez Walker, or do you just think Andrews and likely fill in? Okay, so he's going to love the beginning of this video. But yeah, I do think a lot more will be required of Mark Andrews, but certainly Isaiah likely too. Next question came from my guy Roland. He said, what's up, Ingraven? Hope all is well. I've been a follower since you were in the 4-digit total followers, so congrats on the 80K. I appreciate that, Roland. Thank you. He said, I know this isn't a question fans want to hear, but possibly playing the Steelers this weekend has me wondering a bunch of what ifs. I know the Steelers aren't playing well, but they were driving to go up 14-7 in the last game before Russ fumbled inside the 5-yard line, and we also have a few fumbles in the game we recovered. My question is, if the Ravens were to lose in the wild card game, which I'm hoping doesn't happen, it won't. I understand the concern and it being a real worry, because whoever loses, that's it. Season is done. You pack it up till next year, and it's really, really sad. But it ain't gonna be sad for the Ravens because they're gonna be moving on. Anyway, he said, if the Ravens were to lose in the wild card game, which I'm hoping doesn't happen, should the Ravens quickly part ways with John Harbaugh and go hard after Ben Johnson before other teams scoop him up? John has been great for us, but if we have another quick playoff exit, it might be time for a new voice. I would say that. I would say that, and I don't even like discussing that right now, because you don't want to just, after this great season that the Baltimore Ravens have had, we talking about possibly firing John Harbaugh. I don't think this is the right place or the right time to have that conversation. If that were to happen, to what you said, if that were to go down, then I would say, yeah, get him out of here. Bye. See you. But we ain't even got to worry about that because Ravens taking care of business. And the last question came from my guy Chauncey. He said, with the injury of Zay Flowers, wouldn't it be smart to sign Odell Beckham Jr.? Again, yeah, they could. Not to replace Zay, though, but they could for a depth. And he also said, and what do you think about bringing back Yannick Ngakoue? Yeah, Yannick Ngakoue, the Ravens signed him to the practice squad. Then they signed him to the active roster. Then they cut him from the active roster. Then the Patriots, they signed him. Then the Patriots cut him, so now he's a free agent. So, dude, Yannick Ngakoue, I don't really think they would need to.